It's something that you wouldn't want to do in your Lithuanian championship. Pause.
I can understand that.
Question. And like in the match, like terribly, right? We're talking about terrible blunders. That's the question. But it actually shows you super important lesson that how chess is like an emotional sport in a way that it's really hard. Like you're so stressed and you're so overwhelmed, and it's really hard to control that. So like I, for example, personally would always suffer from that. And like whenever, like I think that others don't do that. Hell no. Or hell yes. They actually do that all the time. Like look at Ding. Like look at like also Jan obviously versus Ding in their previous match. But I don't know if you noticed, but the amount of like blunders that even you would not do in this match was crazy. Which game do you want to start with?
Doesn't matter really. I think I first played with the black pieces, so we could start with that. I think that was my first match.
Um okay, Carlson chess. Well, the thing is, we gotta analyze the games from your like tournaments because this was you sent me. This is an online game, right?
Yeah.
Is it like
This
what was
is
the time
this
control?
is yeah. This was from the tournament. This is from the tournament that I played online.
Oh,
But it was the tournament also. Like I didn't play with chat. I played like serious moves, and I haven't analyzed them yet. And like I analyzed them like myself,
yeah.
but I have some questions about some moves and some openings and some stuff. So I kind of wanted to go over these today. If that's okay.
All right. Well, I seem to be ready. Are you do you have the access to the study? Do you still have the link? I can send you in
Uh,
Discord so that you always have it.
yeah, yeah. Can you send me? That will be better, I think.
All right, chat. So that's the first game that Agni analyzed like a grown up, like an adult by
Try to.
herself. My YouTube is so crazy. And the most
What's happening?
pathetic, the most pathetic is, does she know about Gukesh? No, never heard. Gukesh who?
Never, never. I don't know.
Yeah.
I heard about him for today for the first time.
But yeah, it's I mean, we should see it together, honestly, that game. Maybe after your game. Um
Yeah.
we should see it together because apparently it's quite pathetic. Okay, that's your game. You're here. You're a participant. You can do black and white, and we go.
Okay.
I think only coach. Okay. Only you cannot see the moves, right?
No, no,
So
I
you're
can't.
playing black. We're gonna switch the board. You can also switch the board, turn it.
It switched automatically for me when you did.
Okay, great. So you're playing this opening. Is that something you're always playing? I mean, obviously you don't play anything because you don't play.
I don't normally play e5, but I wanted something simple. Um I didn't want it to overcomplicate. I usually play d6, d6, g6, bishop g7. Like I usually play Pirk. I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation, but I usually play this.
Yeah.
Mm, but then like against like stronger opponents, it's not so great. So then I thought like I remember that I used to like e5 and I like checked a little bit and I thought I will just like play something simple, just like simple opening I think. So I tried to like put something simple at the beginning.
Define checked a little bit.
To like a first four moves, stuff like that.
So
Like
didn't
not
check.
more. Yeah.
Okay. So two things. Thing number one, when you're just returning from the grave, you should play what you know. You don't have any ambitions for the tournament. You just wanna remember how pieces move. Um, Going into a new opening is not the best idea, especially that you don't know anything. You checked for moves, it's
Goldinak brush out.
obviously like nothing, right? Thing number two, Pirk is indeed a dubious opening, so it depends how much you know it versus how well your opponent is prepared. Um, but preparation in chess is overrated, meaning you should not be afraid of your opponents preparing against you, because in fact only like real like title players know how to prepare, right? And you're not facing like Gukesh and his whole team,
Yeah.
right? In the World Chess Championship that's been preparing against you for months.
Yeah.
That being said, I do think we need something, like we need a second choice, second opening, potentially for your tournament. Yeah, we need to back up your Pirk to solidify so that you kind of like remember it, and we need the second opening. But like obviously this is nothing you can change right now, but like don't be afraid of kind of like okay, it's a half a pawn, right? And how are they gonna use that? I would want to see more of your games here if you have in the Pirk. Potentially from, I don't know if you played it in that tournament, or like Pirk is something you really played like 10 years ago.
What I used to play, I do play a lot online. But when I only played one tournament and I had, I think, like 4 games with the black pieces, and 2 of them opponents played d4 for me, not e4. So I think I have, I think, 1 game totally, but not more. But oh wait. I could add from, because I streamed the tournament, rapid tournament.
Yeah.
I didn't have the digital board, but I could maybe add the games from stream because I played Pirk there too. But it was rapid tournament, so I don't know if it's.
It's fine. You can still find it and you can still add it.
Okay, then I will do that.
Yeah, you should absolutely do that because yeah, we want to see that. We gonna, I think, like straight ahead, this month is gonna be hectic, I think, for both of us.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be hard to do something serious. All the holidays and stuff. I'm playing the World Chess Championship. And yeah, but I think closer, kind of when we get the chance to breathe in January, we will start looking also kind of offline into your openings. We won't necessarily discuss it on stream here that much. Kind of we'll see how specifically we should do that. But yeah, that's kind of like a note that I would tell you. Just like, yeah, usually it's not a good idea to do what you did. And honestly, here the advantage of white is already higher than the advantage in the Pirk. Right. So like something like
d4, d6, and yeah, this was stupid a bit.
I don't know why computer says like d4. We can look it up. Like if I take then g4, and now yeah. So also okay, this is very random, but my students will love to hear that. I usually say we start developing king side, knight and bishop first priority, not the queen side, unless you're planning to castle long on the queen side. So here in this position, okay, black played this unconventional g4, right? But open the king, but you have no pieces to exploit that, and now you're losing this pawn. Like let's say you go queen d. Okay, maybe you're not losing this pawn, but let's say you're trying to keep this up. Let's see how white destroys black. Your bishop is dead, I believe. Okay, you're gonna go f6. Let's try just a little bit of moves, kind of see where this is going. So you see it's a total invasion, right?
It's bad.
Yeah, everything is pinned. You understand that it's bad, right?
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, I'm just kind of doing random moves. Oh, right, like this. Yeah, that's probably how the game should have ended. But yeah, so that's where we are at this present time. So I don't know what she played here. I don't know. Like I think the most I don't know what opening you wanted to do, but I don't think I ever saw this bishop getting so early out of the game. Have you ever
I
seen
didn't
that?
want them to play h3 first, so then I couldn't not move my bishop to g4. So,
Okay, so
but I don't play e5 usually. I wanted to be my like second opening, so I wanted to like start playing it, but I was mostly like experimenting here a little bit.
all right. Well, if there is any grandmaster in chat, they would correct me, but I don't think I've ever seen any opening e4, e5 where black would worry or rush with the long side, queen side bishop. Really. And yeah, it shouldn't be a worry, but now I'm gonna have to tell you exactly the same thing that, apologies on that I say to all my 500 rated students. This, like, in general, bishops, something you need to know, bishops are how they say, long range pieces. So they're already half developed from the starting position. The reason we want to develop like this bishop f8 here is because we need to prepare a castle. The reason why we develop the other bishop oftentimes is kind of to bring the rook in, right? But this bishop is already half developed because it controls so much just from staying here. And it's really the piece that we worry about the last, unless obviously we have a concrete reason for that. But here there is no concrete reason, so this bishop should be the least of the pieces that you should really worry about.
Okay.
And that's why sometimes it's very important to get back to the basics, no matter how good we are, because there might have been things that we didn't like study necessarily, right? Like, this is weird, right? Why would you start with the bishop and not with the knight? Same thing, like Russian chess school would tell you start with the knight first. I guess you were worried about something concrete. Okay. Yep. Okay, you got a decent position. Before.
Hear myself this question mark.
Yeah.
Because of this bishop a4. Because I missed that I leave the square for the bishop. I totally missed this one.
Well, how do you make his pawn structure worse?
I wanted to like exchange the pawns, and then kinda I thought that like d3 or c3 pawn, that like they don't look that that good, and then maybe if I push like d5, either I take or he takes, and I thought like maybe this c3 pawn could be like a weak pawn. So that was my.
Okay, who's gonna attack these pawns?
So I thought after like pushing d5 to open the line, and then some, like not right now, I can't do that now, but like that was like my in the future idea somehow, like to push d5, open the line, and then maybe those two pawns would be like weak. No, that was like my kind of future plan.
All right.
But I don't know.
So let's try to understand whose pawn structure here is worse.
Okay, with my pawns.
Well, you're not wrong thinking that d3 would be kind of weak. c3 is not weak. Your c7 is weak, right? So, you know, like the pawn islands, right?
Yeah.
How many pawn islands does each side have?
3.
Each side, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a trade of one weakness to another weakness, meaning your c7 is a weakness. They're kind of d3. The thing is here, even here, I did everything you wanted, right? This is like utopia. This would never happen. This is everything you wanted. It's white is still better. Much better. It's not that easy to explain why. I would go for piece coordination. Potentially. Kind of try to make moves. Like, what are you gonna do here? But also, when you think about weaknesses, you need to start thinking how are you planning to attack them.
Yeah, but I'm looking right now at, like, you know, the pawns and everything, and like they don't really have a way to attack my c7 pawn yet, and we have like kind of open line to attack d3 pawn. So if I would put my knight and not here, I don't think I would.
Okay, how are you gonna? Yeah, the question is how. Also, by the way, this is just like that because
Yeah.
it's overcharged. Yeah, these are very important things for us to do. So that's like it's the only way how you can grow is by
Yes.
moving things around in the positions that you have certain assumptions that are opposites from the reality.
So I think I have my knight back to b6 for now.
Okay.
Like leave the open line for the queen.
So this is the thing. Probably it's not the only thing. I can also do a4.
I would go e5 then after
a5. Yeah, and now, I mean, I have this knight g3, but the computer always wants to go d4. So I guess d4 is an important resource, which makes sense. After the trade... Oh, I cannot trade, lol. Oh, sorry, it's bishop e4. Bishop e4, some tactics. Let's say, I don't like when things finish with the tactics. I think here we can, yeah, let's take. So here white has, I'm not making best moves once again. I'm making specifically moves just for us to see the structure. But here white is better, that's probably easier to understand, right? Because it's isolated pawn versus isolated pawn, but essential is strong isolated pawn. But it's also the pieces, right? Yeah. Your bishop here is a bit weird. I mean, obviously this is a bigger advantage because of some other tactics. Okay, we don't want to get into that. Another problem we have right now is that if you don't do d5, do you still think that white's structure is weaker?
The only was that if I do d5 and open the line, then maybe. That was like some idea in the future.
Yeah. Well, the problem is that, and this is something I really want you to get like as a habit, like don't, like chess is not you playing against you, right? Or it's not just you playing in the chess. There is also your opponent. So your opponent is also gonna make moves, right? Yeah. So I wonder if even now we can do that. Yes, straight ahead it's possible. It's not giving as much advantage. Let's say some random knight c4, you take. You do something. I don't know what you're gonna do. Let's do h6. And they do d4 now. Okay. Computer doesn't like going into d4 right away. But my take is that in this position, if anyone, white is like more ready to push the d pawn. Why am I bringing this up? Because that shows you that your plans are so naive in a way to push d5 first, because like white will always push d4. And then of course there's this bishop a4, but bishop a4 is just like you're not even losing. What did you lose? You didn't lose anything. So you're good. By the way, if only your pawn was on c5, this would so much be better for your structure. Like you always...
That one is like left behind.
Let's try to see. Yeah, see, this position is equal. Because now your center is better. You got 3 pawns in the center, they got 2. And this d3 kind of like... I mean, they have d5, you have d4, right? So...
Yeah.
So, I mean, your bishop... Everywhere here, I see the same problem. And don't hesitate to interrupt me if there is something important. Either from you or from chat. But this bishop, here has always been like a big orphan, so to speak. Not to mean to disrespect any orphans, but you see what I mean. It's not in the
Yeah,
game.
kind of. That's why I had like yeah. Now I see that if I push d5 at first, it's not working. But kind of that's why I had like the idea with that bishop also on h5 to like put it on g6, somehow target the 3 pawn, then maybe push d5 and somehow make it a weakness. That was the idea at the moment.
It's not. Yeah, I can like in that case. Why don't you play right away d5?
It didn't come to my mind.
Yeah. Something you need to kind of take care of, right? If you have an idea, you want to kind of prepare for this idea, ask yourself, doesn't this idea work right now?
Yeah,
Right?
because they just didn't came to my mind like at all. I don't know why.
Yeah, and I had some other thoughts. It was yeah, what I was saying, like you think only like from your own perspective, right? But don't forget that your opponent is also
Yeah.
gonna play, right? So that's that. These are like instincts that you need to develop whenever you think on a chessboard. It's not like just what I'm gonna play and I'm gonna play this and I'm gonna play that. But wait a second, while you're doing this and that, what's your opponent gonna do?
Yeah, I used to had like very good instincts on that, and I used to always like start my move by thinking where the what opponent was with the once with the move that he made. I kind of lost that a little bit, so need to get that back.
Yeah, so just a question of practice, kind of get into the right habits. Speaking of, this is actually what you wanted. Another lesson that is super important. Like, look at this position, because kind of what you were aiming for. Do you prefer like this or this pawn going here and being traded for this? Which one
Yeah,
is
honestly,
better?
my pawn is better because it's also blocking the bishop, the knight, and like a lot of stuff.
So you dared to play Ruy Lopez, which is like Spanish, right? I call it Spanish. Ruy Lopez, right?
Yeah.
As I mean, it was Agnes line.
Yeah.
Was Lithuanian Gambit, Bishop G4.
Kind of.
Yeah, Lithuanian
But yeah, it's usually
variation.
like a6, then the bishop e4, then b5, usually without the bishop g4, without d6. Usually a6 is like played at the beginning. I don't know why I didn't do that, but
Yeah. So, that in my point was that in any Ruy Lopez slash Spanish, there are key squares to fight for. And one of these key squares is like extremely important. Do you see where I'm going? The key square to fight for.
c4?
Yes. C4 is the key square that like black should never give away. Like if we like kind of get back to the traditional ways of Ruy Lopez, it would be like that. Here. Castle, let's say bishop d7, like c3. No, probably not c3, like rook e1, like b5. Castle, c3 now. d6, d4, let's do something like that, right? Not sure if this is here. No. Yeah, I need the book. I'm not. I like it. D4. I need D4. Bishop G4. E takes bishop E7. Okay, let's do bishop D7. Knight D2. Rook E8. Knight F1. Come on, I just want to play knight A5. Probably not here. Okay, I'm just gonna do random moves. Oh. Knight A4 here. Okay, let's just do this. So this is like a typical structure position in Ruy Lopez. And the whole fight is gonna be for this square. So white is gonna try to play A4, and black should not play B4. Because then they're gonna give this square away. Instead, black should kind of just keep the b5 there, or like sometimes play b4. Then white can also do that, but you really don't want to do that, right? You only can do b4 when they play c4. So a lot of games are gonna be jungling, like jumping around, like who's gonna get this for the knight, obviously. This knight is gonna get out of here. So it's just, okay, it's a very primitive example, but just to let you know, and I've never played ever really this positions for white or black, but this is kind of like a general knowledge. So this is something that you need to get from and walk away with from after this lesson. And that happened in the game. So for me, looking at this knight on d2, never ever I would even consider b4. Like your b5 is so powerful here, indeed. I wish the bishop was here, obviously, on b2, so that you understand. One more thing before I forget. Yeah. So, what are the best squares for the knight on the board? And you'd be surprised to hear that.
In this position?
In general, in any position.
F4, D4.
Yes, for F4. So, fun fact, usually you can get your knights to the center. Like if you can, it's like a big success. So then it's F4, but for both knights. So if it's at F4, then it's F5.
F5, yeah.
And
D4, also C4.
You see where I'm going?
Yeah.
I mean, if you get the knight there, and this is something I learned as an adult, like imagine the knight on F4. It would just destroy the position. Same for this knight, it's going for F5. F4, F5, but it's also C4 and C5. Because from that square, kind of you, like, really control everything.
Anywhere.
I mean, obviously, the center, how can the center squares be worse, right? I think we're going from the perspective that usually it's hard to get the knight in the center. And what people forget is that F4, F5, C4, C5 are also central squares. So it's kind of a reminder, people, that like this is actually extremely powerful. And the reason I bring that once again is because of the move that you did, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
yeah, now when you mentioned this, like my move is so not logical, even more than I thought. It's just I already thought that it's not logical after the game, but right now that I mentioned like the knights, the controlling squares, like the pawn structure afterwards, it just doesn't make sense why I moved there.
Again, you're here to learn, so don't worry. Right now, focus on understanding the reasons and kind of making the right conclusions for the next time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. Does Agni has a feeder rating? Yes, that's her feeder rating. Here you can see 1954. Okay, so he played b4. One more thing that I want to kind of, and I mean, I hope you're good with taking criticism, because like obviously I don't want to throw everything at you on you at once, but there is always gonna be extra things that I'll be telling you as a feedback on how to learning how to analyze your own games. So now you started putting question marks. I guess it's you who put it.
Right there.
Yeah.
I thought this move was weak.
Yeah, so that's good. You kind of blunder it. So I would put it, this one, I would put it as question, like this, like question, and then the other one was
Exclamation.
Yeah. So it's like a dubious move. Even though you blundered bishop a4, still. But extra thing that I want to add here is the evaluation. So now, let's say he does the best move, bishop a4. Well, bishop a4 should be with a exclamation, because it's the strongest, right? It's the refutation. And then we would add the eval. The eval right now is plus minus, like this. And then bishop c2, instead of b4, you did not add what you should have played. This d5, I believe I added it, right?
Yeah.
So this is like an important thing. Every time you see a mistake, you're watching your game, you're annotating it as if you were your own student. So instead of b4, if you see that it's a mistake, you should always back it up. What should you have played? And then you would see that the first line of engine is d5, and you were like, oh god, how stupid I am. I literally wanted to play it, right? So then d5, the right move, we need to back up with evaluation. And evaluation would be plus equal, which is why it is slightly better. And then this is the best move, so we would put the exclamation mark as well. So that's kind of my extra, we level up your notation. And then if you look at this line, the end of the line where we added, like they're not, we put the, here you put it, right? Rook b8, you put plus equal. Maybe, I assume you were doing with Stockfish, right? With Stockfish on your chess base. Yeah?
At this position, I wrote it plus equal because I don't think like I'm that much worse, but I think white is a bit better, so that's why I put it plus equal. Like they have active bishops, but I don't think it's like really that bad. Like kind of that's why I evaluated it plus equal.
Are you suggesting that you put it like you disagreed with the engine?
Like all the evaluations that I put it into the game, I put it at the how I thought the position looked like.
Okay, so this is why we use words. We use words to describe how you thought, what you thought. But when we, the reason why we go with the engine is to also to see the objectively, right? Because, well, first of all, imagine you don't have a coach. So you need to know yourself, how was, like, where did you do mistakes and where your evaluations were wrong, right? So, and secondly, even when you have a coach, you want to show up to a lesson with the game of yours that you have already analyzed with the engine. So you did everything you could from your side, and now you need the coach to explain to you why the heck the computer says you were wrong, or like something like that.
Okay, I misunderstood a bit.
Yeah, it's okay. I didn't, don't worry, I didn't expect you to understand it like right away, because this is really like a professional work that I've been doing like for 15 years, right? So I don't like, it's totally fine. That's like, I'm happy that you like added the words this morning, right?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So you're good there. Just like for the next time, I think you should put here the real evaluation, which would be
so you put the wording what you think, and then all the evaluations are from engine.
Yes, because you need to know how the what's the reality.
Okay.
How else are you gonna know? So this position after b3 is apparently like a big advantage for white, and I believe the reason for that is that, as I showed you, if only we could play c5, it would be great, but we cannot. Yeah. So the reason must be that this bishop is just is not gonna get away, and you don't have your bishop. Hello, it's completely dead here, right?
Yeah, it's stuck.
I have a beautiful game here. If I remember, I'll show you. I'll send you how I beat once, and I am similar structure. I just played g4, and then bishop g6, and then kind of knight h4, knight f5. And even though I opened my king, the oh, by the way, fun fact, computer says bishop f3 here, so that's probably makes sense. But yeah, if you do that, and then we do this, and then after that, knight h4, knight f5, you're gonna suffer real time, big time, because you cannot open my king. It's like you don't have a bishop, and if you take, you don't want this wall phone smash you in the face.
Yeah, that looks bad.
Yeah, like the only move here is this, but we still go here. Yeah. So yeah, that's probably the reality. So like there is no one to kick this bishop out of here. Yeah, that's why you put the evaluation there, and then you can add like just 2 words like I thought this was fine, like this. You can just write that. Like surprised. I thought this was fine. Like you don't have to like. It's very time consuming to write a lot of thoughts. I know that, and I'm being a little bit perfectionist, but I would really want you to kind of get into a habit of that.
No, at the beginning, I want to also like do that correctly, so I would like get like a hang of it, and then later on would be easier. So
Yeah.
yes, I misunderstood a bit about evaluation, but for the next time I will know it.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. You catching up very fast. I thought it would take more time, so you're very good here. Okay, knight f5. Yeah, your pieces are just kind of, and I don't know what else like to say here because obviously you just don't know what to do, so you're doing something. This is hard to understand, but it's not like you have much better options. I would just, yeah, it's like, look what happened, right? Sorry. The knight is on f5 already. Bad sign.
Yeah. It's already a lot better.
Yeah. Okay, rook here. Bishop here. Whoa! He went back! Oh my god. That's so sad. He should have played g4. That's so bad.
Opening the king.
And you going d5, that's great. Okay. No way. He's giving you the bishop.
I was so happy.
Yeah.
I was very happy.
Do you so like okay, let's say for your viewers, why would you how would you explain that the bishop b6 is bad?
It wasn't doing anything. It was literally just standing there, blocked by the pawns, and his bishop was like open. He had space. Like it was a good bishop.
Well, that's a little bit childish as an explanation.
Okay.
You should just look at the type of the position.
The position is open.
Yeah.
It's gonna become open.
And it's like really in the process of getting open, right?
Yes.
So like bishops are better than knights. But honestly, also, of course, you're totally right about the fact that the knight is not doing anything. You just kind of need to look into like straight like into the reasons. But and one more thing, super important here. Like you're playing d5, so imagine assuming these two are gonna get off the board. How can you describe the pawn structure right now and after this?
Here.
Say again?
He made one island disappear. Now I have 2 islands after he takes, and before, if you take e. When you took e to d, and then I took with the queen, so I had like 3 islands. And when he takes my knights, he kind of fixes my pawns.
Yes, that's correct. 1 second, my chat is saying that our volumes are different on my stream. Guys, you should have told it from the start. It's on my end. I would have adjusted it. Yeah, it should be better now. Let me know in chat. So, so yes, you're about to create yourself like in the position instead of two, three pawn islands, and he is just like improving your pawn structure.
Yes.
So nothing makes sense, and this is what happened. Yeah, nothing makes sense here. So what I don't see, and you know that bishop b6 is a mistake, but I don't see any comment on that. So I would put a question mark mistake.
I think I only added it on my moves, what I did wrong, but I didn't add on any opponent's moves, any marking.
Yeah. You need to be objective, obviously.
Yeah.
You're analyzing the game, not like half of the game, right? So of course you need to
Yeah.
do that for both. So this is a mistake. Also, knight g3 is the most stupid move I've seen so far. Whenever we put the mistake, instead we put what should have played. G4, exclamation mark, and the eval. Like plus minus, I believe. Knight g3 is a mistake. Now, next move d5, exclamation mark, and we put you're still slightly worse, unfortunately, so I would put like plus equal, but still better for you, plus equal. Bishop c5, rook e8, and bishop b6 mistake. So I put here instead of bishop. Yeah, that's the point. Once again, kind of having the instinct. So then instead of bishop takes b6, if that's a mistake, what should he have done better? You can put like I'm just gonna put like the first line of the engine, queen e2, put the like the right move. I mean, I am too expressive, so I would put exclamation mark. It's not necessary. And then the eval bar is still better, plus equal, right? So kind of like, okay, if this is mistake, what should have been better? And then when you take with a pawn, you're now back in the game. So this is finally when we write equal.
Yeah.
E takes, queen takes, bishop b3 is a huge mistake. Double question mark to him. And he just gave away the pawn. And you pushed. It's interesting that it's not the best move. Although it looks so logical.
It looks, but after bishop d5, it's yeah, I lost that pawn back.
Oh, I see. So yeah, there's a bit of tactic here.
Yeah. I saw bishop d5.
Uh-huh.
But
you forgot.
I played it, and I think after that I saw bishop d5.
Okay, so you didn't see it. Well, actually, now the computer thinks, he says you're fine. After bishop d5, I thought for a long time what to do here, but this was the best decision in my mind, because if he takes the rook e8, then bishop d3, and after knight e5, I liked my changes, but he took bishop c6, which I think was better for me because he left me with two bishops. Okay.
He took my knight instead of my bishop on d3, and I think that was better for me because he left me with the bishop pair.
Yes.
But I don't know. Yeah. But if he would have taken my bishop instead of my knight, I would have gone knight e5, and then I think I was okay. Like I kind of liked the situation after having such a trouble opening.
Yeah, you're still like this positions, like you can totally win this. Really. Bring the king, be careful. I mean, in fact, we're gonna work endgames and like kind of see how you're confident in this. You actually commentated in like a couple of games of mine in US Masters, and fun fact, almost every game I had two bishops versus bishop a knight,
Yeah.
or like bishop versus a knight. And there's always like a lot of examples there. I don't know if you were witnessing one of them.
Yeah, saw both of your games with the
Yeah, they
bishop.
were both. So yeah, so this is like a piece of cake. So yeah, you should be good here. And you kind of want to trade rooks.
Yes, I wanted to exchange rooks because I didn't want to leave the rooks in case we exchange pieces and then it's easier for him to make a draw. With two bishops at the endgame, it should be easier to win, especially that his pawns are separated.
Yeah.
My pawns are better.
Let's try to the computer says you don't have to rush with bishop c4. I'm curious why. Potentially
yeah.
If we do that, what's like the difference? I guess the difference is the timing, that your king is already here and his one is here. So here the cool thing, and this is like also like an important advice that I personally learned just recently. Whenever you are like you were having an advantage, let's say you're up material, or like you were like going to like potential good trades for you, right? You like you don't necessarily have to rush into those trades whenever you see clearly that the pieces you have right now are way stronger than the pieces of your opponent that you want to trade. Like, let's say, look at this bishop. It's amazing, right? Controlling the whole board. Now look at the rooks. Whose rook is better? Whose rook is more active?
Because even if he goes to e1, there's nothing he can do on my end. He can't go to b1 to the other like quite open line, and yeah, and if I move my bishop, he kind of has to exchange. So there's nothing he can really do with the rook.
Yeah, so this is like an open file, right?
Yes.
Your rook has that, his rook has this. So, and most importantly, you're not pinned. Your rook is protected. So basically, your rook is like 3 times stronger than his, just by amount of squares, right? It's like as if it was a pawn. One rook is behind, another rook is in front. Very important concept for endgames. The rook that is in front of the pawn is always gonna be worse than the rook that is behind the pawn. Remember? Always put your rook behind the pawn. Remember? Okay, I have I think this is like nothing you probably can do about, but sometimes when you like probably you have like a noise gate or something, so I don't necessarily hear you saying something. I see you open your mouth, but I don't hear. But it's
should go.
It's probably like a noise gate or something. But I mean, it's nothing to worry right now. We don't have to. Yeah, don't worry right now about it. Wait, she's leaving? Where did she go? Oh.
I just put this box so the microphone would be closer to me.
Yeah, that's better. And my mic has issues all the time, so if you have any.
No, you're okay. I can hear you good.
All right. So, continuing into our discussion. So that's just, and kind of again, the reason I like working with you is because I also see a lot of like we're talking about high level stuff. So I also see kind of a lot of stuff new for myself. It's very interesting. But here, actually, it all comes down to a tactical opportunity that White has. And I believe, like, obviously now I know that you were not putting White side, but it has to be in your analysis next time, because this is like his last chance to get a draw. But it's hard to understand. Actually, yeah, it's everything what I said is a bit overrated. But try to find the resource right now for White. Say again?
what his plan should be?
It's not like a plan, it's a resource. Like how? Okay, you are playing with white. You need to defend the position. How would you do that? How would you do that?
I would want to put my knight um, somewhere active, like to make the knight more active.
Careful, the
And-
pawn is attacked.
Yeah. So right now I would definitely play. I mean, have to play.
You're thinking about a4?
Or bishop b7, attack his pawn.
So
Take my
neither
pawn.
of this. I'll tell you straight ahead. None of this.
Do you do? Your pawn is hanging.
Yep. It's another way.
I honestly don't know.
Okay, let's say try to find ways how not to lose the pawn, right? Like
Yes.
continue by elimination. What are the ways we don't lose?
Okay. We can push a3, but then there's bishop e7.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Sense. So if 4 is not the
Nope.
case, then bishop b7, no.
No.
We can maybe attack some other pawns. Bishop e2. Attack the bishop and the pawn. If takes, take another pawn.
Yes, bishop e2. That's the way. And the difference right now...
Why?
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh yeah. No, the difference right now is, remember this position, like try to here.
A king was closer.
Yeah. So let's say we do this, they do this, we do this, they do this, we do this, they do this, we do this, they do this. We didn't get anywhere. We have like a slight, tiny little advantage, not enough to win the game. Can put.
Did I have to exchange then the bishop to the knight? I most probably would have not exchanged at the game.
If you don't trade,
yeah, I would have taken the pawn.
Yes, true. But unfortunately, with every pawn trade, it's harder for you. It's gonna be harder for you to win. Plus, remember the pawn structure. He had 2 pawn islands. You had connected pawns. So like a2 is your big menu, your big like stake on the menu, right? You really want to win it. You don't want to trade it. Once if it was for b6, it would have been better because you would still have a passed pawn, right? But because it's like here a trade for that you don't have a passed pawn. Now compare this to this position. We play king f8. They play bishop e2. We take, they take, we take, they take. We go king here. Now let's just like, this is what you're supposed to calculate. Up, one tempo away changes everything. And this is like, you're gonna win this. How you're gonna win this? Probably 20 different ways. They're gonna defend, and then they're gonna just be in a tsung. I mean, obviously, I normally I shouldn't have to explain to you that the king on c4 wins, right?
Yes. It's definitely better here.
You understand that.
Yes.
Especially because now you have like a dark squared bishop, so like the ability of being able to dominate, like to not dominate, to it's like an outpost, right? It's like control and take the key white squares with your king that you wouldn't be able to gain otherwise. So it's almost like we're talking about fortress in the other position. We go back to here. Like white has a fortress, right? How are you gonna like, and then they're gonna play c4 potentially. So yeah, That's kind of strategy here, speaking of endgames, that you were saying not your strongest parts. Kind of trying to, I mean, like, once again, I'm throwing a lot of you on you, so you can, like, at some point, don't hesitate to stop me, ask me questions. Also, I would recommend you to sometimes go back maybe and rewatch some of the moments, or kind of re-listen to them if you know that you kind of disconnected in some ways.
I did rewatched also our previous lesson. It was very good to like see it with the fresh eyes the next day.
Great. That's awesome. Very happy to hear that. Okay, so that was your game. Yeah, and that's, again, I wouldn't know that. I just learned that by looking at the engine. And the engine told me your bishop c4 is not great.
Yeah,
Really.
it was not the best move. Yeah, I saw that there is king f8.
So, and you put it,
It's not bad, but it wasn't the best.
So, did you put king f8, or did I put? You put it.
I put it.
Just king f8, and that's it.
Yeah.
So then you would need to back it up, kind of, right? But kind of try to make few moves, see what they want. But you know, like, this is kind of, I'm teaching you how to talk to an engine. How do you know what move to look for as white here? You go back to the previous position, and you see the move that you did was not great. Bishop c4. And then, did you put any line here yourself? Why this is... No, you did not, because you didn't find... This is your game. You didn't see bishop e2. So this is like a big hole into your analysis, obviously, because it's his opportunity to equalize. So imagine you see that. You put bishop e2. And this is, by the way, the lesson for everybody who wants to learn how to analyze your games with an engine yourself. It's pretty logical. So you put your bishop on e2. You put his bishop on e2. And you start going down that line. And you see that,
that's here, king f8.
Here, I don't have any advantage. And you put, like, okay. So you put, like, bishop e2 exclamation mark, and you put the evil right after that. Like, it's almost like a draw, like equal plus. And then what question should rise into in your head is, but wait a second. What I did in the game, well, but wait a second, this king f8, how is that better if white does the same thing, the same idea, bishop e2? So that's what I want you to develop as a pattern. So, like, you were talking to the engine. Hold on a second. Why are you saying that this is better? What happens if I do the exact same thing I just did? So you put it, and then he tells you. He speaks to you. He tells you, darling, now after takes, you just play king e7, and you are faster. And you're winning this. And here we can put, like, plus minus. You see? So that's that's the hidden secret, the power that you have with an engine, that you can actually use him as a coach just by all the time comparing same ideas with different move orders. And that's when you will realize the nuances. And that's a very hidden power that people don't necessarily know because no one explained to them. And even when they have an engine, they're stuck. They don't know how to use it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Here, another idea you missed. You put king f8. Yeah. So when, like,
again,
mistake. Remember question mark?
Yeah.
The king is the strongest piece in the, like, exclamation mark. And the evil, and we're winning here. So bishop b3, why is it bad? You don't explain. You said it's bad, but you don't explain.
of bishop c6, like I kind of give him this good position for his bishop. He defends the pawn, and then his bishop is good there. And yeah, I should have developed my king sooner.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You said bishop c6. I played king f8.
Yeah.
What's your next move?
5.
a5?
Knight f5.
Knight f5. Yeah, that might cut a little bit. Okay, bishop f6. I'll play g6, I guess, next. Remember, I'm playing with 3 pieces. You're playing with 2 pieces. You don't see a move, right?
So should I also move the king as a...
Right now?
No, not right now.
Yeah.
Right now I blundered the pawn. But I don't think like knight d4 would be a good move. Like if we exchange, we have the same colored bishops, but my king is closer, so that's not good.
Yeah, that's lost because you just king is here.
That's bad.
And this is a fast pawn.
So then maybe before, after you play king f8, maybe I should also go with my king.
Yeah, of course, but...
And then...
let's see here. Bishop e5. Let's say you do something. f5. This is just the power of 2 bishops, right? I don't know where you're going with... oh, this is losing.
I really tried in the endgame like to like limit the moves that he can make with my bishops.
Yeah.
I somehow tried to play on that, but I forgot a little bit about the king at the beginning. I remembered about him only later. Like a lot later. So yeah, I first thought about my pieces and how to block his pieces with my bishops, but then later I remembered that I had the king also.
I guess my point is here that you were actually, I don't know how that happened, but you made a mistake assuming that it's a bishop c6. It's not bishop c6. I think you rushed with your analysis. And I hope you have a chess base and you have the latest Stockfish, right?
Yes.
So it's not bishop c6. Bishop c6 is losing just as like everything.
Bishop e2.
Yeah, it's exact same idea. Now we are not gonna take because then you take. We already discussed that. So yes. Then we have to play a5. But now it is what you were saying. Now the bishop is actually strong. And it's protected and you don't have a pass pawn. b6 is a backwards pawn. So this is actually gonna be really hard to win now. Wow, even c4. Kind of try to create a fortress there. See? If we got here, how we with your... oh, this is losing. Lol. Okay, I was wrong. Here is just losing. So it's not that. It's 94, so we cannot... it was 94, so we cannot go king d6. Let's say we do bishop e5. Nope, we cannot. There's knight f5. Sorry, bishop e5, knight e4.
Yeah, but knight is always tricky.
Yeah, I'm just trying to play with this. Yeah, no, this is okay, so we cannot do much. It's tricky. I'm just like you discovering this. You can see like how I'm analyzing. Let's say we do something. Yeah, no advantage here. I guess. Yeah, and here you lose. Okay, you didn't get anywhere. How we understand that? I think everything would just happen. Like the last moves were a little bit random, but one clear thing is that this is not something you want unless your king is already on c5, right? This is not something the knight is restricted. This is not something you want because this is an outpost and this is a backwards pawn. And like so that's why, for this reason, every time bishop e2, right? And here, instead of bishop b3, mistake, you should have gone king f8, but it's only because you don't want to let them kind of this resource.
Yeah.
So it almost like feels like if only your bishop could go to b7, protect a6, you would keep the advantage. So you see here another kind of missed resource in your analysis, showing you why you should go deeper on this. Okay, this is a little bit...
I only later remembered that I have a king. That's
yeah.
true. And then I pushed a5.
Okay, somehow you have more advantage here than what we saw before. So it's kind of by accident you actually played, like, it ended up working well against the knight. Kind of what you wanted.
I tried to block the knight. I tried to block his pieces, but my pieces kind of.
Yeah. See here, you analyze the game. This is a big miss. The position. This is a double question mark. Bishop c4 is a double exclamation mark, and it's an equal position. This is a big miss in your analysis. And instead, here you can win the game.
With taking the knight.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought of taking the knight in the game.
So whenever you have a disbalanced material, in terms of like, okay, two bishops versus bishop and knight are not necessarily disbalanced, but it's like different. Every time you're up a pawn, you're up like a bishop under attack, or you're like, is this balanced? You always should look for ways to turn it back. Let's say you're up a pawn, always look for a way how you can give it back, because usually when you're up a pawn, it's because he has the initiative.
Mm-hmm.
This is, by the way, the resource. It's the only move. It's not, so it's a tactical idea. It's not a, this is like a protected pass pawn. Every endgame is winning. So this is the resource, by the way. It's not just bishop d4. It's a random tactical idea. But you should always look at that, consider that, right? And this is like, your target is a4. What else? That's like only real weakness. It's not like you can bring the king to c4. Yeah, and whenever you're bishop and two bishops advantage, always look for like ways whenever the trades, you are the one who is in control. You're the one who choose when and how to trade. So that should be always on your mind. Okay, so he goes here, you go here. Yeah, and he chooses the wrong way. He could go here.
Yeah, with the bishop, it would be kind of equal, I think.
Yeah, that's an equal. And yeah, you take with the knight. I mean, it's still not clear why, but I guess you don't have any way to. Yeah, because of your bishop. Your bishop is.
Yeah.
If only your bishop was light color, dark color, you don't have any target.
Yeah, so, because then the a pawn is not that weak anymore because my bishop can't take it, and everything's kind of.
Really? That's what he did.
And I missed bishop f7 at first. I only did it later.
Oh my god.
But thank God that I did it later, but I missed.
And he asked you for that?
Yes, and only then I realized that I can do that.
Oh my god, this is just ridiculous.
I missed.
This is ridiculous. Oh, right. I hope it's like you were in studio time trouble.
We had like 2 minutes left.
Yeah. So like it should be your instincts, right? It's like when I'm looking at that, like when I see that, I mean, I hope you won that game, right? When I see this, I'm like, what? No, you know what? Right here, when I saw that, I was like, I wonder if he's actually wants to take. Like, even like taking, I wouldn't be like, I would be like worried about taking as a white, but especially when he goes there for 3, like that's like, you see how much like it's all about patterns, right? He played this, and I'm already like, does he really want to take? Because when he takes, like, you can just trap his bishop. Like, let's do some like this. Okay, you are not winning here. Probably because you don't have any target.
Yeah, I can't move really my bishop because it's defending the g6 pawn.
But here, it's like, yeah,
it's good.
For nothing, right? Yeah. What's he gonna do? Yeah, he doesn't have anything to do. Yeah, and pawn moves, remember, pawn moves will always end. You cannot have unlimited pawn moves.
Yeah.
The king is protecting this. Yeah, I guess that's it. All right, let's just see how you execute it. Yeah, great. Do you have any questions from this game?
I wanted to ask about if I understand correct about like the analysis stuff.
Yeah.
So basically, after mistake, you put either like question mark, or if it's a good move, exclamation mark. Then like back it up with like other moves and like evaluation,
Yeah.
and then add your own comment. And that goes
Um,
for both opponent and you.
Yeah, usually the comment is whenever you have like an emotional reaction, meaning, oh my god, this is something I totally did not see. So you can just type, absolutely did not see that, or miss that.
Okay.
Or like,
Okay.
I thought this was I legit thought this was the opposite of what computer says. So kind of like just compare it with your own perfect evaluation, with your own assessment of the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I redo the next game for the next time?
Yeah, that would be
Remake
great. That would be great, absolutely. And you have this study saved, so you can go back here as well. And yeah, we can do that next. That would be great. And once we finish with your games, we will I mean, I guess it's gonna be next year. We will kind of, once we cover your kind of biggest weaknesses right now in your game, we'll start looking more into openings. But the idea of the openings is gonna be for you to pass the opening stage, right? We still want you to control the game overall. Like, we don't want to get anything particular. I think the idea is that you get a playable position after the opening.
Yeah.
We don't want to do anything crazy in those openings.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So yes, guys, I don't know if you have any questions. My chat has been pretty quiet. I assume it's because everybody's
I have honestly no idea what about my chat because I haven't looked at them at all.
It's good because you want to stay focused.
Yes, I was really focused. It was really hard lesson though. Like for my brain, it was a lot of information. I mean, a lot of good information, but I will definitely have to like rewatch the lesson again to go over some things. Yeah. And I definitely need to check my openings. Do not do something this stupid that I would get like bad position after the opening. That's just like stupid.
Yeah. I mean, you got lucky here. You really got away.
Got lucky, I think so too.
You got away with this opening, but yeah, this bishop. I think I should show this game to my like, I have some of my students here in chat. They can confirm that I say it over and over again. Don't, like, to every beginner, don't touch the queenside bishop unless you plan on castling there. Right? So this is like,
that makes sense.
if you cold right now, if your Lithuanian coach saw that, I mean, it's late, he told me, but he would be very very annoyed.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so I will try to remake the other game, and then I will also try to get from my streamed rapid tournament some games. So I'll try to analyze them also with the like Pierk opening, so you could check those out.
Yeah, that would be great for us to check on your Pirk to see how, because again, you're playing against idiots, right? So it's not like they're gonna like the only people I will be worrying.
Idiots.
Well, yeah, it's just, let's face the reality. That should give you confidence. The only people we're worried about with the Pirk are the women grandmasters and women international masters that you're gonna be facing your championship. They are the only ones. I mean, also maybe some like kind of young girls of your rating who have like GM coaches. So yeah, that's where we really want to make sure. But yeah, okay, we'll look into that.
Okay.
as we get slightly more kind of peace on our end. Sounds good. As usual, continue your tactics. Yes, 30 minutes, 1 hour every day. Continue the tactics, continue analyzing the games. And if you have any questions, you can always write me.
Thank you for